Johnny Phillips with Junior Achievement of New Jersey, where we prepare students to succeed in the global economy.
Good afternoon. Real pleasure, Johnny, to be with you. I'm Gary Sundermeyer, Vice President of Operations with the Bayshore family of companies in Woodbridge Township, New Jersey.
Gary, I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to shoot this quick fireside chat with me. Share some information around the recycling industry. To start, would you mind sharing your job story, meaning any job that you had in the past and how that aligns with the current work that you're doing?
Thank you. I've had a wonderful career. I've been working, gosh, at this point, it's approaching 50, it's exactly 50 years. I actually began working when I was 13 years old and
Mm.
had 20 different jobs in my career. And like a lot of young people, I was a landscaper and I worked scooping ice cream and a construction worker and a metal worker and all kinds of different things. But my real core passion was always to work in environmental protection. So
Okay.
30 years of my career, I worked with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. And it was a wonderful experience. I had 7 different jobs with the DEP. I started as an entry-level assistant planner and was able to work my way all the way up through the ranks to become the chief of staff over the entire agency. We had about 4,000 employees and an annual budget of about $260 million. So it was a really significant job, and I got to work very closely with the governor's 6 different governor's offices. It was wonderful, and that really gave me a terrific core background to move after 30 years to the private sector and to work for the Bayshore family of companies.
Nice, nice. As you mentioned, nice long career, very substantial jobs, and it sounds like you're doing it with a purpose, right? Something that you believe in, something that you want, everyone to kind of join your team and do this work with you. So, to kind of keep it going, would you mind explaining your education path and how your education might have kind of propelled this interest in the environment and want to sustain our natural world?
Yep, absolutely. Similar to a wonderful career, I had a wonderful education. I actually grew up in a tenement building in downtown Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay.
Well, when I was a young boy, my dad moved us to the neighboring town, Hawthorne, New Jersey, and went to Hawthorne High School. And I had a sophomore biology teacher who really inspired me. He talked about this brand new organization in Trenton that was going to save the environment of New Jersey called the Department of Environmental Protection. And
Mm.
really, from that point on, sophomore in high school, I was pretty much hooked. That was my career goal. I wanted to work for the New Jersey DEP. And I was very blessed to be able to attend Rutgers University. I attended the Agricultural and Environmental Science School, which at the time was called Cook College. Now it's the School of Biology and Environmental Science. And I had a wonderful experience there. And similarly, I was inspired to continue on and work in the environmental field. And then once I graduated from Rutgers, I was very blessed to get to work for DEP, which was my career goal. And then I began a journey 5 years at night. I was already married. We had our first child. Then I went 5 years at night to the Rutgers Graduate School because I knew that to achieve my career goals, I needed a higher degree, at least a master's degree. And it took 5 long years at night, but it was worth it very much. And I was actually at Rutgers for 9 years.
Nice, nice. So kind of developing an interest from high school and taking it and running with it. That's really big. And sometimes it's hard to see what you're interested in high school, but for those who know, this is what I want to do. I can set a goal for myself. I can kind of put myself on this direction. And that's really powerful. So thank you for sharing that. And to end off, you sound like a very successful guy. Like I said, you've worked your dream job. So if you can go back to your younger self and give yourself any piece of advice, what would you say?
Yeah, in terms of advice, ever since I started working for DEP 40 years ago, I work with young people. So I've thought a lot about advice that I would give myself and give anyone who's part of the wonderful Junior Achievement organization. I kind of call them my 10 pillars. And
Hmm.
I can, run through them pretty quickly. First one would be work hard and play hard.
Okay.
I found that there's really no substitute in life for working hard. But similarly, we should play hard. And what I mean by that is really pursuing our interests, because what we want to seek in life is balance, and a balance between hard work and enjoying our free time, I think is very important. Secondly, and what I feel very strongly about is developing our core skills. Often in academics, we seek to get great grades, which is a good thing, and to learn complex things. But what I've found is a foundation that's super important is your core skills. And what I mean by that is learning how to write. And I say that very sincerely. I've worked with hundreds of PhDs who really can't even write down a clear sentence. It's all full of fancy words and jargon. That's not good writing. You have to learn how to write. Public speaking, um, extremely important. Almost any job you have, you're going to need some degree of standing up and expressing yourself. My wife happens to have been a biochemist with Merck Pharmaceuticals working in a laboratory. You'd say, well, why would she need public speaking? She'd have to get up in front of her peers and discuss the findings of her research. Very
Mm.
important skill. No person in the history of time was more afraid of public speaking than me. And I took a
Nice.
6 credit graduate course at Rutgers to learn how to do it. And
Mm.
I've never looked back. So it's something you absolutely can learn. Third, organization skills, very important to be organized. If I've hired hundreds of people, and I want people who are organized, they can find things, they can collect their thoughts and contribute to an organization. Fourth, today, and you're much better at this than I am, Johnny, which is IT skills,
Ah.
information technology skills. That stuff didn't exist when I was a young person. We didn't even have personal computers yet.
Hmm.
Today, you got to keep up. You got to keep up because it's critically important. A third area, maintaining a positive attitude. Absolutely critically important. When I'm going to hire somebody, I want somebody that expresses to me a can-do attitude. I can get things done. And I realize that not everyone is born with a positive attitude, but it's something you can work on. And it is just so important. Like, who wants to be with somebody that's a naysayer and causing drama? You want to be with someone that's positive and says, we can get this job done. Fourth area, be confident. Be confident. I truly believe that the following statement I'm going to make, folks in junior achievement, you can do anything that you want to do, with very, very limited exception. I wanted to be a pro baseball player. I couldn't hit a curveball.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to be that. But almost anything else, if you put your mind to it and you work hard, you can do it. So be confident. Very closely tied to confidence. Don't be afraid.
Mm.
If you think about sort of what it holds us back in life, 99% of the time, it's fear. We're afraid to try something, do something, speak to someone. We're afraid we'll be embarrassed. Don't be afraid. And I think a very healthy thing to do is say, what's the worst that can happen if I do something, and generally, it's not that bad. And so
Yeah.
don't be afraid of it. And I hearken back to a really tough time in history. I love history. And
Mm.
back in 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected for the first time. He was actually elected president 4 times, unprecedented in our country's history. But he came in right on the heels of the Great Depression. It was still going. And in his inauguration address, he had the famous line, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And
Hmm.
that's really true. We have to rise above our fears. A sixth thing, try new things. There's that old cliche, variety is the spice of life. It really is. When we try new things, both professionally and personally, we broaden our horizons in terms of our work and in our life, and we become better people, more well-rounded people, and better professionals. A seventh area, seek the opinions of others. Reach
Hmm.
out to other people. It's so important, especially when you're in your formative years, when you're thinking about what do I want to do when I grow up? That's a hard question. Talk to other people. I'll give an example. We have 4 children, and our oldest daughter, Gail, was at Villanova University, and she thought she wanted to be a doctor. And she talked to every single professor she could find in the science and medical field at Villanova. And as it
Hmm.
turns out, based on that input, she went in a different direction. She's a senior epidemiologist with the California Department of Health now, so she's done very well. But it took talking to others to understand what going into be a doctor would be. And along with seeking other opinions and getting other people's advice, asking for help.
Mm.
People like to help. When you reached out about doing a fireside chat, I was thrilled. I was thrilled. I bet you anyone who has the privilege of doing this just loves the experience.
Hmm.
People like to help you, so ask for help. Don't be afraid to do that. An eighth category, and we're almost getting done,
Yeah.
is uh, think hard. And this sounds funny, but think hard about what you want to do in life.
Hmm.
Try to develop, I like to call it a life plan. And it's so many people really don't, in my opinion, spend proper time thinking about what do I really want.
Hmm.
Do I want to make a lot of money? Do I not care about money? Do I want to be near my family? Do I love to travel? Do
Yeah.
I want relationships? Do I want children or I don't want children? Whatever those things are, they're yours. But
Hmm.
you have to match what you really want in your life to how you develop your professional career. And
Hmm.
what I like to recommend to people, particularly young people, and this sounds radical, is to go away for a half a day or a day by yourself without a cell phone,
Hmm.
pad and a paper, and think about and write down what's important to you. And then try to figure out, how to move forward to achieve those things. Related as a ninth thing is set high goals. It's important. Any psychological kind of analysis you look at of life, people will say to you, you need goals. You always need something else that you want to pursue to try to achieve. Don't be afraid to set high goals, but try to think about a pathway toward achieving those goals. And finally, along this wonderful thing we call life's journey, always remember to live your life with honesty and integrity, to be kind to others, and to give back. There is nothing in my 40 years of a professional career that has brought me more enjoyment and satisfaction than giving back. I'm part of 10 different nonprofit organizations, and thanks to my owners at Bayshore, the Monte Calvo family, and it's really a wonderful thing. So that's my spiel. Sorry to ramble on, but I think all of these things are really important.
No, the 10 pillars to success from Gary Sondermeyer. That's it's really powerful and a great way to end off. When we say your time is one of the most valuable things you can give. So from Junior Achievement, we really, really do appreciate you and happy holidays and look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you so much, Johnny. I know Junior Achievement's been around for 101 years now. It's such an amazing program, and I really compliment anyone who will tune in on this and for being part of it. And best of luck with your future careers. And Johnny, happiest of holidays to you as well.